This is all of our boot accessories that we've slowly developed over like the last 4 years as we've done more and more boot reviews and realized how many things are missing in the market. So be sure to check out all these below. They make great gifts, self-gifts, and it's a huge way that you can help support the channel. So check them out below. This was one of the most slept on boots that, especially in the wide toe box world, that we've ever covered. Apparently Hawx has been selling this boot at Boot Barn for a couple years and somehow it never ended up on our radar. But you can see how wide the toe box is. It looks like it has pretty nice leather. It's got like a modern style outsole with the traditional style of Goodyear welt construction. And this boot did really, really well in our wide toe box series. And okay, Hawx, yeah, that's what it was. Value ranking, I ranked it #1 in value because they're very affordable and they're very good and they blend that modern and traditional really well. And they have tons of options. And so that's what this video is gonna be, is right over here is all the various options that we've gotten from Boot Barn with this specific super wide toe box model. And I'm gonna look it up on their site and we'll go through all the options you need to know because, you know, when a boot performs as well as it did in that series, it's nice to have like a little follow-up video just to show you not necessarily the ins and outs of what's inside, but like the options and what boot might work best for you given what intended purpose you're buying them for. Okay, on the site they have 6, 7, 8 models. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How much do they retail for? They're all like 115, 125, 110, 109, 135, 145. The most expensive that I don't think we have that boot. Oh, yeah, we go. This is the most expensive one. $170, and this is one beefy boot. Let's start talking about all the options they have. So starting with, how do I do this? I'm trying to figure out how to do this. Do I show you all the boots first? All the options we have? I think that's what I'm needing to do. Part of this too is trying to figure out like what other than unboxings can we do to provide value for you guys for this channel, but without spending 4 hours of prep time. So let me know what you think of this. Let me know what you would rather have seen, what structure you think these kind of videos should be on or in. Because I think that's kind of where Rose Anvil 2 is going, like more information that's pretty quick and easy for us to make. So now we got them all here. So first big difference between all of these, after my camera stops shaking, is the toe option. Okay, so you've got composite toe, composite toe, composite toe, soft toe, soft toe, composite toe, composite toe. So all of these on their site have the option between composite toe and soft toe. So that's your first differentiating factor. So if you're like, okay, do I need a certified safety toe for work? Do I want that for work? Or do I want just the softer toe that's a little bit more comfortable? That's what's cool about Hawx, is even though it's a steel toe that's notorious for being narrow and really uncomfortable, these are ridiculously wide. So you get a super wide steel toe. That's why I wanted to cover it first, because that's probably the most important thing for a safety boot is, in terms of comfort, is how uncomfortable is this steel toe. It's not necessarily, the question is not how comfortable is it, it's how uncomfortable, because they're just inherently tough to wear. And so to have one that's naturally already wider than your foot, and it's not gonna squeeze your pinky toe and push your big toe in, it's a big plus. Okay, next thing to look at would be leather options, because you've got basically 3 different types of leather here. So, differences of leather. You've got a regular nubuck, just classic work boot leather. You've got an oiled nubuck that's same, basically probably almost really close to the same, but has a lot more conditioning and oils worked into it. So it's a little bit more heat resistant, a little more spark resistant. It's gonna be self-conditioning. And then you've got this tumbled oiled leather. And so it's not nearly as oiled as the paver leather, but it's more oiled than the nubuck leather. So they really kind of sit right here. The tumbling on this boot is gonna make it a lot more easy to break in. It's gonna make it more comfortable initially. And so really a good middle ground is this leather. If I were to choose one for overall, which one I like this one, but I think it needs to be thicker. I think in the cut in half, it was a little bit thinner than I expected, but all 3 are good leathers. You know, and ultimately it comes down to, if there's one thing that matters between these leathers, it's how much conditioner is in it and what are you gonna be doing in your boots. If you don't mind having a drier boot, this probably is fine. But if you need something that has that oil and that conditioning worked into it to give you that extra protection, the water resistance, all the stuff that comes along with it, that might be your option. Now let's start going from the sole and work our way up, because the paver is a full-on wedge sole. And then all the rest of these are a heeled sole. So unless you're getting the paver, they're all basically gonna come with this sole, even like this pull-on boot version. But But what's nice about these soles is they're not just a piece of foam like some of the Christie style soles, but they're also not just hard rubber. They're a combination of the two, where you've got the softer rubber in the midsole, and then you've got that harder rubber as the skin. And then what's nice is they sew them through here. They have extra protection through the toe. They bevel this to give you a little bit extra wear before you start wearing into the foam. It's a really good outsole for an affordable boot. And this is really the only one that's different. Then similar is the construction. All of these are Goodyear welted constructions. You know, you can see because we cut them in half, so we know for sure. See how that ties into the insole? Nice thick pink fiberboard, all that soft squishy foam in the middle there. So all of them are Goodyear welted, and that's what I really liked about these. It's not just a $120 boot that's cemented together or direct injected. It's Goodyear welted, which is the old school traditional way of doing it that lasts a really long time, but it also has a modern way of doing things with that combination style outsole and like a more modern style upper. And it really is a good blend of both. I'm surprised these aren't more popular. Some of these have toe bumpers and some don't. That's a differentiating factor you might want to consider, because if you have one of these bumpers, it's gonna give you a lot more wear protection if you're on your knees working, or if you're an electrician, or if you're doing anything on your knees, you're gonna start scuffing those toes up. And so if you're not doing stuff on your knees all day, you probably don't need it. But if you are, I would recommend getting one with the toe bumper, because you've got the tall one with the nubuck leather, you got the more tumbled leather. And does the paver come with let's see if the paver comes with the toe cap. Yeah, the paver does not have a toe cap, but you do have an 8-inch version and a composite toe version. What's the next most important differentiating factor between these? One difference we didn't cover was the difference between the paver and the Enduro, but we covered that in a whole separate video. This one's literally made for hot work. It's got vents on it. The front vents do work, the back vents do not work. And so they're working on that to maybe update it. But that's why we cut them in half, because you see these vents from the outside and you're like, oh yeah, it's got ventilation and this and this. But then you actually look at how they applied that vent and it was completely sealed off. So it's still gonna be more breathable because these vents up here do work. And I still think it's gonna breathe a little bit through there. As you can see, some of these taller boots, they've got that Permaloft 400 gram insulation. This one does not, and so that's another differentiating factor. If you want a more cold weather boot, if you're freezing all the time, get the one with the insulation, because I think only the tall one has insulation. Yeah, both the tall ones have, you got a 400 gram and an 800 gram option. Yeah, and the height's pretty obvious. We don't need to beat a dead horse about that. I think you pretty well know why you would want a taller one or a short one. And then as for the linings, all the linings are basically the same. Even on the paver versus Enduro. The paver does have a little bit more of a collar of leather inside the boot, but that's the majority of the differences. And then obviously you've got the pull-on version. Maybe not quite as wide, but I wanted to give you at least a pull-on version, even if it's not technically an Enduro. So to wrap it up, what did we learn? Okay, you've got leather differences, anything from a little bit drier to a lot more conditioned. You've got toe guard options, one where if you're really working on your knees, you beat up the toe of your boot, get one with a rubber guard. You've got your height differences if you like a little bit more protection, or you like a little bit cooler with the shorter boot. If you need insulation, you got 400 grams and 800 grams. You've got your regular Enduro version, that's a good all-around work boot, but then you also have your paver version that's made for more hot conditions and really tough, like tarring, working on the road, construction outside, really hot work, and the outsoles reflect that as well. You got your difference between the soft toe and the comp toe. That one you should know pretty easily. So now you should have everything you need to know. If you do want one of these Enduros and you're like, there's like 8 on the site, they're all affordable, but like which one do I get? That's all the main differences that will matter to you in deciding between some of these boots. And yeah, I think these boots are worth a look because they're really high quality for like 110 bucks. Like how many times have you seen a Goodyear welted wide toe box boot that has good leather for under 200 bucks? And these are, the most expensive one is 170 all the way down to 109. So get them before they're gone because it looks like they're on sale, and that's it. Okay, that should be everything you need to know to decide between one of these 8 different boots and all the different features to find the right boot for you. And let me know if you like this style video, what you want us to cover. It's just like a supplementary buying guide. And let me know if you think there's any boots out there that can beat this boot. For the price and what you actually get, this is a pretty hard boot to beat. So let me know, and thank you guys. See ya. Beat to boot.